Hey everyone, today we're checking out the Pamu Z1 noise cancelling earbuds, which are another contender in the rather flooded sub $60 price range. They do have a never before seen feature and all the usual features that you do expect, so let's get straight into it. If you want to grab a pair, links are down below as well as timestamps, because as usual here, we're going in depth. So if you're picky with your audio, so am I. Let's get into another picky review. Alright, starting with the design of the earbuds themselves, and pretty unique design here. The plastics feel a little bit cheap for this price, and I'm not a huge fan of the blue color here, but you do have some other options as well. The indicator light is on the top of the stem there, but thankfully no unnecessary flashing going on here. So overall, very simple design. Going off the look, I thought the fit wouldn't be that great, but as usual for Pamu buds, nice comfort and really good security as well. So you're getting 4 sizes of ear tips included. The largest and second largest worked great for me. The largest did provide me some better noise cancelling performance though. Also, no suction feeling here. Fit is moderately deep, and the way the stem sits outside the ear canal, the comfort is pretty good. I still got some very mild discomfort after about 1 hour just in my right ear for whatever reason. And keep in mind, I generally can't wear like any true wireless earbud for more than 2 hours, even if they're really comfortable. In terms of security though, really solid. They don't budge out when training, like clenching my teeth through those hard sets, so it should be fine for any kind of training really. Even if you run, you do CrossFit, they might budge out a little bit more, but definitely no way they're going to fall out. And if you like to use your earbuds when training, these have an IPX rating, so fine if you get a bit sweaty like me, use in the rain, you just can't submerge the buds in water. Now let's talk about battery life. So advertised, you're getting 6.5 hours, 24 hours in total. I assume that's with noise cancelling off. They don't say specifically, but anyway, in my testing at 70% volume on an iPad mini, I got 6 hours, 29 minutes with noise cancelling off and 5 hours and 34 minutes with noise cancelling on. So look pretty close with the advertised battery life there. There is no fast charge, but you do get wireless charging here. Otherwise, you can charge via USB-C with a cable included. Now, onto the case itself. One of the most unique things here is that interchangeable belt on the middle there, which you can like buy some other colors and spice up the color of your case. So pretty cool feature if that's what you're into, some case customization. The case itself though is a little bit chunky compared to the AirPods Pro case here for reference. Still easily pocketable, and the indicator light is kind of on the side there. It's like a little tag there. And to know the battery life of your case, when it's below 30%, that light will flash 3 times. When it's above 30%, it'll just stay lit. Now the magnets aren't very strong, but should get the job done. The hinge is a bit of a flimsy one, and I did notice it took about 10 seconds for the earbuds to connect to my phone when taken out of the case, but thankfully they're pretty easy to take in and out. Now onto controls. Right out of the box, these don't have volume control, and they are lacking a triple tap, but thankfully you do have some customization options in the app, but you can only customize the double tap and the hold on either earbud. So you can add volume control, but with that lack of triple tap, you're still a little bit limited. The sensitivity here isn't the best. They only work like 90% of the time, which isn't the worst, but you do get a subtle beep feedback when adjusting all controls. There's no in-ear detection here, and a weird thing I noticed when you switch between noise cancelling on and off in transparency mode is your music will stop for like half a second and you get a subtle beep, which is good, but that beep is the exact same no matter what you're changing. So if you have like music playing, you won't really know the change that you made unless you like pause your music and you can hear your surroundings if you turn noise cancelling on or off or turn your transparency mode on. So a bit of a letdown there. Hopefully it can be fixed through a firmware update, because these can be updated via firmware on the app. And on the app, you also have an option there. So if you want to only switch between noise cancelling and transparency mode, you can do that, or you can either switch between noise cancelling on and off and then transparency mode. Now onto connectivity, Bluetooth 5.2, SBC and AAC. In terms of Bluetooth range, really good stuff. I've got 26 meters outdoors in a clear open space and 17 meters downstairs, upstairs, through 5 walls inside, which is some of the best that I've tested. Now there is no multi-pairing, but you can use the left or right earbud individually, and it does work in mono mode. At first it didn't work for me, so I had to repair my earbuds, and then it did work. So a bit glitchy there, but it ended up working, so you can hear both audio channels if you're just using the one earbud. Now in terms of latency, fine on YouTube and Netflix. Casual gaming, you should be fine as well. These also have a low latency mode with 3 options there, which is a bit strange. Don't really know what that means. But anyway, I'm just gonna chuck up my tests here in both iOS and Android, so you can see the latency for yourself. Generally, if you're looking for a real low latency, 200 milliseconds is a good range to hit. So I'll check out my tests here as well as my microphone test right after. So I'll see you in a sec. here's a microphone test with the Pamu Z1, just in a nice quiet room at the moment. And this is what they sound like with some crowd noise being blasted off my desktop computer speakers to mimic a noisy environment. And this is what the microphones sound like with a fan blasting right in my face right now. Move my head around a little bit to kind of mimic what it would sound like to be on a phone call outside on a windy day. Alright, so here we are in the outside world with the Pamu Z1 on a pretty busy highway here at the moment, so hopefully you can hear my voice quite well, and a little bit windy as well, and also I'm hoping the microphones are blocking out these cars zooming past as well. Alright, before we talk about noise cancelling, a quick little drop of my Instagram here. If you want to stay updated with behind the scenes action of me and my audio ventures, link is down below. Alright, on to noise cancelling. And quickly, how I test my noise cancelling in my room here. Chuck on my soundbar nice and loud. It's got a sub, so I play some simulation plane and train noise, cafe noise, and this gives me a good idea of the noise cancelling performance. And I'm chucking these in my ANC ranking just behind the Edifier 330NB there. So they do a pretty decent job at blocking out those lower frequencies. High frequencies, not so good. Voices, pretty good. And they do this with very minimal cabin pressure, like that suction feeling. Barely any ANC hissing as well. Slight issue though is when you take the earbuds out of the case, every time noise cancelling will be off. So you have to hold down on the earbud and then turn noise cancelling on. There's also no wind noise reduction. So if you're outside on a windy day, the microphones will pick up that wind noise if you do have noise cancelling on. And the transparency mode here is okay. I'll rate it like a 6.5 out of 10. So general awareness, it's fine. In terms of talking to someone in front of you, it's kind of hard to hear your own voice and their voice. If you're in a noisy environment, this won't be the best. If it's quiet, should do the job. There is no app customization for noise cancelling or transparency mode in the app, which would have been nice to see. But in terms of EQ shift, at this price range, you expect like a 10% decrease in sound quality. That's roughly what you're getting here with the Pamu Z1. So you do lose a little bit of bass with noise cancelling on, and clarity is brought down ever so slightly. So you might like it better with on or off. It really depends on what kind of sound you like. All right, now with volume here, in terms of loud level listening at 100% volume, these are ridiculously loud. I rate them 9 out of 10. You don't really have to go above 85%. And if you're looking for low level listening, these almost get my bedtime certification. Still a little bit loud at the low volume, but definitely low enough to kind of have some quiet listening before bed or whatever. But do keep in mind, there is quite a bit of that white noise, static hissing sound. Doesn't matter if you have noise cancelling on or noise cancelling off. And this is some pretty loud static noise. It's pretty annoying, especially if you're sensitive to it. Even if you're at low volumes, you have to go above 20% volume before you kind of drown out that static sound. So just keeping that in mind if you don't like the white noise hiss. But now onto the sound quality itself, and Pamu is bringing you a big, fat, juicy, bass heavy sound, a 9 out of 10 on the subwoofer bass head scale. It's big, it's boomy. There seems to be a bit more boost in the mid bass, which adds to that boomy sound. It does hit pretty deep though, but compared to another pair in the similar price range, Tronsmart Apollo Air and Apollo Air Plus, they have a similar boomy bass response, but they do hit a little bit deeper as well. It's also a similar mount to what you would be getting on a pair like the Soundpeats H1 or Jabra Elite 75T, except clarity on those is way better. Because on the Z1 here, when it comes to mids and treble, they get lost quite a bit, which is not a bad thing. I mean, if you want to crank these at loud volumes, the treble doesn't get harsh at all, so that's a plus. But the mids and treble just lack clarity. They lack definition. All the focus was put on the bass here, which might be what you're looking for. So you can kind of guess here, soundstage and instrument separation below average, well below average for this price range as well. And this is the kind of tuning I find that only really works with electronic music. I'm going to chuck up all my genre ratings here so you can see the differences. So basically anything instrumentation, vocal focus, live music, not the best, but when you go to like your hardstyle, your trap and dubstep, those kind of genres where it's mainly focused on those lower frequencies, on those drops, they sound better, but still it's not the best unless you just like a ridiculously boomy bass heavy sound. So especially for instrumentation, bass can just drain out the other frequencies. You do have some EQ customizations in the app. The normal mode brings the bass down quite a bit, but it also brings down the clarity as well. So it still doesn't sound very great. I found the jazz EQ sounded okay. It's kind of similar to the default pop EQ with the treble slightly boosted, but it still didn't sound great. And the rest of them also weren't that great. So it would have been nice to see a general EQ customization here, but sadly just some presets. So quite an interesting decision here from Pamu, because compared to the Pamu Quiet Mini I reviewed a while back, they are still a pretty bass heavy sound, but the clarity is much better on them. Soundstage and instrument separation. Noise cancelling isn't as good. It comes pretty close and you're getting near the exact same features as well as that EQ customization. And like I said, this price range is very congested. You got pairs like the Xiaomi Redmi Buds 3, Soundpeats T2, Earphone 3 Pro, Edifier 330NB. They're all bringing you much better sound quality. Some of them are also bass heavy with better clarity, and the noise cancelling is better, except for the Earphone 3 Pro. They're slightly worse. Even the Tronsmart Apollo Air, Air Plus, and the Bold, similar amount of bass, but they're also bringing you slightly better clarity, and the noise cancelling performance is also on par, slightly better. So to wrap it up here, by all means, these buds are pretty decent, but at this price range, you definitely need to stand out, and they sort of do it with the bass head certified sound, but they are lacking in clarity and they are lacking in some features to really be worth it at this price range. Unless you're really into that case customization, that's one of their standout features. Except for that, then these might be worth the skip. All right, thanks for tuning in. If you're interested in other buds in these price ranges with noise cancelling, I'll leave my Xiaomi Redmi Buds 3 Pro review up here, as well as my Soundpeats T2 review. Both great buds, so check either of those out. But in the meantime, stay tuned and of course, stay picky with your audio, because life's too short for crappy sound. See you in the next video. Bye now.